That's the typical goal each year, and I know we can raise that. As Chris mentioned, all of the funds go to help academic programs throughout all of the grades at West Carroll, from field trips to classroom needs. So we would appreciate your pledge. The phone number is 815-273-9273. Again, that's 815-273-9273. Or you can come by and see us. You can make your donation. We're in the library here at the primary school, so you could just drop your donation off. That would be great. So we're looking forward to a great morning, raise lots of money for our kids and for our teachers. Chris, how many years has this RadioThon been going now?
Well, we've been doing it since we've been consolidated, and I know the prior districts did it before that. So we just are wrapping up our 20th year of West Carroll, so that's exciting. And we've done a lot of grants through the years, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So our goal of $25,000 is great. Last year we raised $33,000. We'll be talking about some of those grants, and some of the recipients will be here to talk about what they received. Right now all of our kids are getting their attendance taken and lunch count and everything, so we'll fill you in on a little background information. Our West Carroll Education Foundation is made up of Chris Shingling and Jenny McGinnis. They're the co-presidents. Kim Loffer is our treasurer. Jenny Foltz is our secretary. Our other members are Betty Hartman, Colleen Herman, Mary Jo Kelly, Emily Bressler. Our board representative is Dawn Rath, and our school administrator is Tracy Wayne. So those are the people in charge. Dr. G said you can drop off your donation at the school. If you don't know our address, it is 2215 Wacker Road, Savannah, Illinois. You can also drop a donation off at any of our 3 buildings, and they will get it to us. So if you're in Mount Carroll or closer to the high school, feel free to drop one off there. We've got some greeters at the door, some 4th and 5th graders helping out today too. They're going to be interchanging though, so I don't know if we'll get all their names on here. We've got some 5th graders ready to talk, but we've got to wait for their teacher to get down here to talk with them. They're last year's teacher. But it's going to be an exciting morning. Call that 815-2.
Close to my heart, and that is the Timber Lake rental. Some of you may or may not know that for the past few years we've been able to use Timber Lake Playhouse for our fall musical. And the fall musical last year was Bye Bye Birdie, and that rental cost was picked up by the foundation. So that's really important, because that experience for our kids and our directors too is tremendous. I mean, and of course lots of field trips on here. So who do we have here now, Chris?
We've got 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Atherton here, and she's got a few kids from 5th grade that went on our field trip last year that we got Education Foundation money for. So I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. A.
Okay, we got a couple, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 5th graders who already went on the trip to the Brookfield Zoo. They're going to tell you what experience they loved and talk about it just for a little bit.
Hi, my name is Ellie, and I was on the Ferris wheel, and I remember when I got all the way to the top that I could see the skyscrapers of Chicago.
Yeah.
My favorite movie was The Dolphin Show.
Why was it your favorite? You love dolphins? Did you get in the spot that you got wet?
Yes.
Like a lot wet or just a little wet?
Soaked.
You were soaked. And it ended up being a rainy day that day, didn't it? So we're walking back to the bus and you guys are soaked, we got more rain on us, so, yes.
My name is Leanne. My favorite one was the dolphin show because they did tricks. They like danced on the water and they did some front flips.
They did, didn't they? It was cool. And now, we were afraid that we were gonna miss the dolphin show, but it's back on for this year. Talking about
What's your name?
there's some,
On that
you
microphone.
think the what? The boards? Okay, and like, what is a carousel anyway? Spins around, you didn't get dizzy on it, did you? No, you're not going that fast? Okay then. All right, what's your name?
My name is Maddox, and my favorite part was the Motoramas, and they were very hot, so be careful about them. Thank you for calling the Westwood Education Center. How much would you like to pledge today?
Okay. So, are they pretty cool with how they do it?
Can I get a name?
I was just talking to a kid who has graduated 2 years ago, and he still has that Motorama, and
All right.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
got 2 of them.
And you
So
said $25
it was
for
like
the
really great.
Well, and I know fourth grade's really excited to get this grant again this year. We go next week, is that correct, Mrs. A?
Yeah, that is correct. One of the big part was the charter bus.
Mailing in?
What did you guys get to bring on the
Are
charter
you
bus?
dropping the donation off at the school?
Electronics, a little snack here and there.
Snacks, electronics on the bus, right? The
Did
charter
you
bus
eat
going
today?
to Chicago is always a good time. And, the fourth graders do a good job raising money for the charter bus.
Yes,
But we
that
always
would be
ask for
correct.
a little extra help, from the Ed Foundation. We do the hog rifle. Evan Housingay's,
Alright.
parents sponsored our hog last year, so that, or for this year's fourth grade, so, we're excited to go on Thursday.
Did you guys get to do the virtual tour? That was closed down, wasn't it? Now they can do that this year, and we get to do the
No, I'm
humpback
not
whale, we get to
I'm
do the
getting that address.
shark,
I'm getting that address for
or
you.
I think it's the tour of the zoo or something. So those are 3
2-2.
options. They get to do.
1-5. Blackbird Road.
We tried to get you guys to go, because that opened 2 years ago, the new VR experience, so, fifth graders, thanks for coming in to help us,
Yep.
and we, hope your parents and grandparents are listening, and call that phone number, 815-273-9273, we've got one phone going, but we need to get that second one going. I don't want Izzy just to be sitting there all day while the other one has to answer the phone.
You too.
815-273-9273. We had a first grader coming in with a donation. Listen again, did we have a first grader coming in with a donation? I thought I saw one.
Your phone.
She-
That's your
something
phone.
like that.
I'll see if I can find that.
Hello?
I think she was in Mrs. Hurst's class.
Mrs. Hurst, okay.
Yep, so it's a good
Okay,
morning, and
how
I
much
know
are
Dr.
you
G,
today?
when I mentioned our trip to Brookfield Zoo, you had a few memories of that also.
Can I get a name with that?
You know, they were talking about, what's the
Mold-A-Rama.
Moldoramas, and, you know, they say that the sense of smell is the strongest
Can I get
sense
your
that
address?
we have.
No.
And right now, as I stand here, I can smell that melting, everyone's nodding their head here, of that plastic. And I'm sure many of you out there have been to Brookfield Zoo, but that Motorama has been there for,
$100 for
well, since I was a kid, which would have been in the 60s. So that
Are you dropping
shows
it
you
off at the
my
school?
age, Chris.
Or are you mailing it?
But that smell of that hot plastic melting is a great, it's just, it was a lot of fun. I can remember my parents saying, one, you get one. And my mom would always pack the lunch. There was no eating
All right.
at the zoo because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
But we had a lunch, and that was always, my
Or at the school.
mom would always do that. So we got somebody here, Chris. Who do we have?
Are you doing a check? Warren Barker?
Lauren.
Would you
Okay.
like to
What
donate?
brings you into the library?
The Brookfield Zoo.
Oh,
He's
you're
gonna talk
going?
about that too. No, he's talking about, he didn't make it in with the other one.
Oh, you were at the zoo last year, and now you're just showing up now.
Yeah.
Okay, where were you?
This morning, where were you?
Getting dropped off.
Oh, Didn't you know school started at 8?
Yeah, but my brother was a little late.
Well, do I have to talk to him?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'll talk to him and tell him that school starts at 8 o'clock. Okay, back to the zoo. So what do you remember about the zoo?
The mold thing.
Mold-a-rama, we were just talking about those.
Mold-a-rama, yeah.
You remember the smell?
Yeah.
Yes, so that's it. Yeah, we were just, when I was your age,
Hi, this is
we went to the zoo. I'm just telling everyone who's listening that I can remember the Motorama and the smell. It stays with me to this day. Did you know that the sense of
I'd
smell
like to check out the
is our strongest sense of the 5?
No, I thought it was
WCEF.
No, that's what I would say too, but they tell us,
W
scientists and all say that the sense of smell
E
is what triggers, is the sense that triggers the biggest activity
and the
in
F
your
stands for
brain. Did
foundation.
you know that?
Oh, no.
Well, now you do know it. Okay,
Yes.
so thanks for coming. I will talk to your brother
Thank
about
you.
this, okay?
We've got a first grader
Hi.
here.
Oh my gosh, with money,
Yeah.
$25 for the West Carroll Education Foundation. Is this your parents?
Yes.
You're going to have to pronounce your
We're gonna have
last
to call and
name.
say what your first name is.
Corday.
Okay, I'm glad you said that. And what is your name?
Jack.
Okay, and what grade are you in?
First.
Okay, what do you think about this radio-a-thon we're doing today?
I wanna say hi to Grandma and Grandpa, anybody, everybody should be listening in on the radio. Wanna say hi to anybody?
Who do you want to talk to out there in radio land?
My grandma and grandpa.
What are their names?
Jane and Jarrett.
Do they live here in Savannah or Mount Carroll or Thompson?
Thompson.
Okay,
Well, we
very.
hope they're listening and call that number.
Yeah, we need to have them call. Why don't you ask them to call right now on the radio?
Say call and donate.
Hey, Grandma and Grandpa, can you donate?
I love it, and for if Grandma and Grandpa need to know, the number is 815-273-9273. Okay, you're great. Thanks a lot. Okay, I'm gonna pass it over to Chris because she's got a few people here.
Where do I go now?
You can go back. Good job. Well, we got a couple more, I think, they're third graders. So tell us your name and what you're doing in here. What's your last name? Okay. Hi, Kinsley. I think your dad just got elected to the school board. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting, huh? What's your dad's name? Awesome. Well, what do you have for us today, Kinsley? Kinley? A donation. Do you want to tell us how much it is? Woo woo! Is anybody listening out there that do you want to say hi to? Uh-huh. Is your mom watching kids today? I know she watches daycare kids. Oh, she's at preschool. Well, I hope the preschool is listening. Do you think they are? Maybe. You want to tell anybody else to call and donate? Because we like to go on projects, field trips, and get to do fun things at school, right? Yeah. Anything else you want to say? No? Okay. You can take your check right over to the ladies over there. Miss McGinnis is over there. And what's your name? Hi, Dylan. And what are you doing in here today? Do you have a donation for us?
Yeah.
Who's the donation from? Mom and Dad, or Grandma and Grandpa, or Grandma and Grandpa? Do you want to say hi to them out there? What's their names? Siobhan and Dennis Yoakum? I know them. So do you want to tell us how much that donation's for? Maybe some other grandparents will call in. Oh, she's got 3 checks.
Woo!
Okay, well, what Grandma and Grandpa donate? 200. All right, we're gonna challenge other grandparents out there. Anything else you want to tell us today, Dylan? From Reed Yoakum? Well, who's Reed Yoakum? Oh, so you got a check from parents and grandparents. That's awesome. Well, who's your mom? Jenna Yoakum. She works here at the school, doesn't she? She's down there busy with kindergartens, we'll probably see them in a little bit. Well, you can take your check right over
Let
there.
me talk to
She
this
is-
yokel
Okay,
girl.
hold on here.
Did you know that I knew your dad, and mom, I know your mom and dad, but also your grandma and grandpa? Both grandma and grandpas, I actually
And she's
know.
got another check too, she said that she hasn't announced it.
Oh, we got another check, well, let's see what
What's
we
on
got here.
She's got so many.
Yeah,
We did
that's
that
great,
one.
the Yokums.
We did that one. Let's see. Oh, she's got two from grandma and grandpa. Is that one for each granddaughter? Maybe? Or there's more than one granddaughter. You got grandsons, you got cousins here in the building too. All right, I'll let you.
Did you know that your grandpa and I graduated in the same class? You didn't know that? Did you know when his birthday is, your grandpa Yokum's birthday? Christmas Eve, December 24th. Well, okay, that's
When you have a
okay.
Christmas birthday, it just
Yeah, I
gets
know.
around here.
Okay, thanks a lot, thanks to the Yokums. Who do we have next here? Chris?
We've got some third graders in here with some weather facts, and looks like third grade teacher Mrs. Judd is in here, so I'm gonna let her kind of talk about what the kids will be doing here. Remember to call that number, our girls are waiting, 815-273-9273. They got their tailored brews, they're awake and ready for you to call in.
Good morning, everyone. So we have a new reading curriculum this year called American Reading Company, and we spent about 9 weeks during the second quarter learning about weather, and they became weather experts. So today they want to share some weather facts and things that they learned. We have all three classes here: Mrs. Wolf, Mrs. Nicholson, and Mrs. Getz. So here's our first kid.
Hi, my name is Isaac and Wood. Is true speed of 200 miles per hour. What's a really good weather overcast onto land that is really dry and could be caused by heavy rain, melted snow, or overflowing rivers? Hello, my name is Rosie.
So you heard some of them shared their book that they wrote, part of our Young Authors book program. And so some of them at the end, well, all of them at the end wrote a book, but some of them read pages too today as well. So I'll do that.
Thank you. This is Judd and third graders. Remember 815-273-9273 for all the listeners out there on WCCI 100.3. Or you can drop a check off here at the school. We're trying to get those phones ringing. The girls are ready. While we're waiting, we mentioned Zach Vandendorn was elected as a school board member. We'll let you know who our other ones are. President Fred Tipton, Vice President Jolene McCormick. Our other members are Don Rath, again Zach Vandendorn, Jeff Woodside, Renee Pritchard, and Greg Stott. So we thank them for all they do, and we hope they come in and make some donations. We usually see a board member or two, so Kinsley already brought one in for her dad, so we'll see who else comes in today. Looks like we have some other donations maybe. Are you guys in here for fifth grade? Is a teacher coming with you? Maybe. Let's get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. Dr. J, I don't know if you noticed when the third graders was in here, one of them was blowing a bubble, which we don't usually have gum at school, but on radio.
It's a great organization, and so I really admire and respect all of these.
Well, we thank all of our past members, and we thank you for getting the news out there and continuing to support the Education Foundation. All right, get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. And those phones are for donations only, so Mr. Conley, if you need to call again to talk to your student, you better be giving a donation, buddy. Oh, we have a challenge from board member Jolene McCormick. She wants to She is making a donation of $150, and she challenges board members to do the same or better. We also had Riverport Railroad donate $5,000. They brought that check in last night, so that's got us off to a great start. All right, who's got some jokes, fifth graders? 815-273-9273. All right, looks like Tavo, aka Michael Jackson. What is Michael Jackson's pronouns? I don't know, what are Michael Jackson's pronouns? That was a good one, I should have known that one. Alright, don't forget your name. Yeah. I wanna know your name, because there's probably people out there listening. I know some people related to these that might be listening.
My name's Briella. I reckon I only know 25 letters of the alphabet. I don't know why.
I don't know why. Why's the best letter, Briella? That's Briella Bull. I'm sure she wanted to shout out to her grandmas and grandpas that might be listening. Okay, and let's see, I think I had you last year. We got Mary Mankey. I won't make her say her name. What's your joke, Mary? I know this one. You guys out there know it? Do you know it, Dr. J?
No, I don't know.
Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? All right, Scarlett, let's hear your joke.
Why did the picture get sent to jail?
Why did the picture get sent to jail? Anybody? Anybody?
Framed.
Oh, Brian Rush got back there. You can't get anything past him. He's the best trivia person I know. Nobody out on the air heard that. What's your answer? It was framed. Good one. Thanks, fifth graders. We'll see you later, hopefully. Get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. We want all of our listeners out there on WCCI 100.3 to be calling in or dropping by. We have other board members here today from the Ed Foundation. We've got Jenny McGinnis and Jenny Pope working on the donations. Got Conley Herman helping out with the snacks as the kids come in. It's going to be a busy day. We also had some donations from Max Cottrell and Sarah Van Hulst, $50. Jeremy and Megan Nolte sent in $100. I think we've got their daughter over here. Anybody else you want to shout out to out there, Caitlin, in the world of listeners?
I guess I'll shout out my grandma and writing her thank you note right
And who's your grandma?
Janine McCormick.
Okay, so grandma's on the board and she's already challenged the rest of the board members. Anybody else?
I'll shout out both of my other grandparents who are also listening, Don and Karen Nolte.
Alright, I know them. I got to go on an on-play with your grandma. It was a great experience. So I hope all of you are listening and call in or drop by. We also had Schoenauer Accounting Services, donate $5,000, and Mount Carroll Lions Club $500. So it's only 8:35. Dr. G, do you know what our total is already?
I don't. Oh, it's right in front of us.
$11,150. And that's probably without the last 10 minutes in there. So 815-273-9273. Those girls want the phones to ring, so let's get calling them. Looks like Mrs. Curley's coming in here with a bunch of first graders. So let's see what they have to say. Stand like in front of you. Slide right over there, guys. Right over here.
All right, this is Curly's first grade class, and we spent the whole second quarter researching animals, and they then made a young author book about their animals, which is sponsored by the Education Foundation. So we couldn't do that project without the Education Foundation. And then our books were presented at our concert recently that we held on Monday. So each of our first graders is going to read a very amazing animal fact about one of each of their animals that they researched. And they used books from our new reading series, our new art series, and they each had books to research their animals, and we used our Chromebooks, and they also looked up some facts on our Chromebooks. So all that is given to us and helped by the Education Foundation, so we thank them very much. And we're gonna get started. Here we go. So you guys can, I guess, look at the camera. There's a camera right there. You can be famous.
Hi, my name's Gibson. Hi, my name is. My animal is a wolf. Did you know wolves have 42 teeth?
Good job. So you can look in the camera once you see that you're famous.
Hi, my name is Lucy. My animal is a wolf. Did you know wolves can have 4 to 6 babies?
Good job.
Hi, my name is Alex. My animal is a cobra. Did you know a cobra can look like the sand? Hi, my name is Hosseina. My animal is a spider. Do you know spiders can use traps to catch their food? Hi, my name is Asher. My animal is a elephant. Did you know she can lift a tree with her trunk? She can hold over 600 pounds with her trunk. My name is my animal is an elephant. Did you know my animal is a mammal because it raises babies?
What?
Because it raises babies.
Oh, good job.
Hi, my name is Liliana. My animal is a gorilla. Did you know gorillas look like monkeys, but they are not? They don't have toes.
Tails.
My name is Haley. My animal is a lizard. Did you know a lizard can have 1 to 3 babies a year? My animal is a puppy. Did you know a leopard can live up to 37 pounds?
I'm just gonna break into those first graders. I almost called you guys fifth graders. First graders for a minute. And get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. I wish I had a camera on our phone caller people, because they are waiting, they're praying, they just want that phone to ring. They keep nodding at me. They want those phones to ring. 815-273-9273.
And this project we can't do this project without donations and without the Education Foundation. So it's all really important for these kids to be able to show off and do this. Ready?
My animal is a cheetah. Cheetahs are really fast, but cheetahs can only run at top speed for about 10 seconds before they get tired.
Good moment.
My name is Joseph. know they can hold their breath for an hour. Hi. Hi, my name is Isaiah. My animal is a crocodile. His nose sometimes can grow to be 20 feet long. Hi, my name is Kelsey. My innovators and alligators. Did you know alligators can weigh more than 1,000 pounds? Hi, my name is Autumn. My animal is a tiger. Did you know when cubs are born, they can't see or hear for up to 2 weeks?
Jack's already doing this, right? You're famous already? Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jack Corbett. My animal is a Did you know my animal eats bananas and
What do they eat?
My animal is a snake. Did you know this snake is as big as some snakes little as little. This snake is as little as a kid.
And that's the end. Thank you, West Carroll Foundation, for letting us be able to do that. Thank you for your pledges, so we can do that.
Speaking of pledges, get those phones ringing 815-273-9273. I thought maybe if I brought the mic over here, these girls could give a shout out to somebody that might call in.
My grandma, Kathy Wilson. Even if you're asleep, come on. I texted you. Call the phone.
815-273-9273. How about you, Izzy?
I want to give a special shout out to my father, Anthony Eugene Carroll. I know you're listening, and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, well, let's see if they call. 815-273-9273. And we have another board member that walked in. I'm going to let Dr. G talk with him.
Yes, Greg Stott just walked in the door. Greg, you may not know, out there was a superintendent for a long time and taught what science? Science, junior high science?
Junior high science at Brookfield Zoo.
Oh boy. Well, were you part of this deal where if you had gum, they were just telling this story, and I'm still worried about this, thinking about this. They said at the Savannah High School, if you had gum, whoever, one of the teachers, you have to put the gum in the jar and then take another piece of gum that had already been in there.
Yes, he did. And it worked.
Oh boy.
Of course, now try that, you get fired, but back then, had a little more control.
Oh, well, the FBI would be here investigating that one, yeah. So it looks like you've got some checks here.
Yes, I came to donate for the Savannah Lions Club, and they would like to donate $300.
Great.
Carroll, and then for myself, I'm going to give $50 for each of my grandkids, not just the ones here, but all over the country, so that's another amount.
Oh, and that's $300.
Yes.
So you just doubled Julien's.
Yes. I didn't, I was out in the yard, I didn't know if she had put on the sign.
That's all right. Doubling Julien's donation is fine. I'm sure she's happy with that.
Oh, I'm romantic. This is going smooth. Brian doing what he's supposed to be doing over there?
He always does. He's the man in charge.
He does a nice job. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, we appreciate Beaver and Brian and everyone else with WCCI.
Looks like we've got some more kids lined up here.
Yeah, here they come. So before you leave, what more yard work do you have today?
Oh, just working on my deck, that's it. And mowing the yard, and a bunch of other stuff.
Do we call those honey-do lists, or?
And my list. I haven't even got the bird.
Well, we'll make a phone call, get to the honey-do list, and find out so you don't get into any trouble.
All right, sounds good.
Thanks, Greg. Okay, who do we have here?
Good morning, this is Mrs. Camper's first grade class, and we're here to talk to you about what we'd like to be when we grow up.
Oh, okay.
Come on over, kids.
I'm gonna walk right on in there.
And so, if you guys want to look right at that camera, and who do we have here? And we got some nerves here, I promise you, they're not this quiet when they're in class, but he wants to be a teacher when he grows up because he wants to be able to help more students learn how to read, so he's gonna kind of be paying it forward.
Good job.
And who do we have here?
Hi, my name is Annabelle. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher because I love to read and I love jungle. I want to teach kids.
So her heart's gonna be with the littles down in preschool. Hi, Annie.
When I grow up, I want to be a vet because I can teach that.
And what was your name, young lady?
Hi, my name is Ryan. When I grow up, I want to be a teacher where I see a lot of animals.
Well, you're gonna be excited today then for Barnyard Zoo to see all those animals there, right? Hi. You gotta say a lot louder than that, girl. I know you got it. Hi, ladies. A mechanic? So she said she wanted to be a mechanic because she promised her grandpa before he moved away that she would be a mechanic when she grew up.
Are you planning on dropping off the donation at a school?
What do we have here?
Can I get a name, please?
Are you Sammy Joe Hasenke? And what would you like to be when you grow up?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Help be a vet so you can help the sick animals, so you're gonna enjoy the Barnyard Zoo today too, right? And Sammy is infamous because she always has kitty ears on. So we already know she loves animals, because she's always got her kitty ears on. And what do we have here?
Hi, my name is Desmond Carroll. When I grow up, I want to be a police officer because
Those bad guys, right? And today we have.
And are you doing check? Or
What's your
can you
name,
make
young
it out
lady?
to WCEF?
This is Lee that we have with us, and when she grows up, she wants to be a.
All right. Thank you so much.
She wants to be a vet and a babysitter. She couldn't decide between one. She wants to see all the cute babies, and she wants to help all the animals to feel better, right? Thanks, Lee. And who do we have here?
Hi, my name is Ray. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor because I want to help the. Hi, my name is Kylie. like 10 people who had six, and that's
And if they have bad headaches, she wants to be able to help out with that too, right?
Hi, my name is Houston. When I grow up, I want to be a landscaper because my dad is a landscaper.
Thank you. And here we have, this young lady is named Laurel. This is Laurel Shryock. And when Laurel grows up, she would like to be we've got another one who's excited about the Barnyard Zoo, because this one wants to be a farmer when she grows up, because she wants to milk the cows. She's gonna be a dairy farmer. Who do we have here?
My name is Kennedy. When I grow up, I want to be
Hi, this is Katya Wilson. Thank you for calling the West Carroll.
The capybaras sure are cute.
How much would you like to pledge today?
Who do we have?
Hi, my name is Jess. And when I grow up, I want to be a police officer because they help people.
You said
Thank you, sir. And what's your name? Bryson, what would you like to be when you grow up?
Can I
And what does a tow truck
have
driver
an
do?
active, please?
Yeah, that tows cars if they crash.
You said 50.
Good luck, Bryson, with your
Are you dropping her off?
And of course, I have to make my annual appeal to my Grandma Holmes, Lou Holmes. I'm sure you're at home listening to
Are you doing
to
your
me, and to my dad, Mark Holmes.
Make it out
Good
to
morning, guys.
WCE.
Thank you very much. Man, we've got every career covered there, doctors, nurses,
I know.
veterinarians, farmers.
We're always big service professionals.
Thank
We
you.
always aspire to the fields of service
I love
and
you
helping others.
Yes, the tow, one of the students wanted to be a tow
Tow truck driver.
truck driver, which I've needed that a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah, it's an
So,
important job. We need those people.
yeah, that's great. Well, thank you very much. Our total right now is we're just shy of $12,000. We're at $11,925.
We have a check here.
And we've got a check coming in, and first of all, who is this young man? And do you like Michael Jordan? I see he's got a Michael Jordan, number 23. I think he might have been the greatest basketball player of all time. Oh, yeah, well, you agree with me. Some people might disagree with that, but LeBron, some people think LeBron James, you know LeBron James? You think Michael's better than LeBron? Yeah. Yeah, so do I. So you even have the Michael Jordan shoes going here. Are those worth any money? Yeah, I think you better keep a hold of those. Those Michael Jordans might be worth big money someday. So what do you've got a check here, it looks like. Well, let's see. Let me see what it looks like here. Okay, it's for $200. And who is it from? The minor agency. Is that a relation to you?
Who runs the minor?
Who runs the minor agency? Yeah, okay, well, that's good. Okay, and how much is it for? How much is the check for? Oh, well, you thank them for us, okay? That's great. You keep rooting for Michael Jordan, even though he doesn't really play basketball anymore, but he sure did. Thanks. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back over to Chris.
Okay, we still wanna get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. I know, Katya's grandma called in. We're still waiting to hear from Grandma Lou for Mrs. Camper, and Izzy's waiting to hear from her dad, so get those phones ringing. We have a few that have dropped off or called in or mailed in. River City Fencing from Fulton, I have my fence from them, $50. We already had Jack bring in Chris and Cassie Corjays, $25. Hanford Insurance from Geneseo brought in $100, thank you.
You
Saunders
gave up some
Oil Company
information
up in
today.
Warren, $300. Miller Excavating here in Savannah, $100. Freeport Industrial Roofing, $200. I bet they're doing some of our work here maybe on the
I
school.
think so, maybe.
And then we got the American Legion in Thompson, $100. Thank you very much. Love you guys. Grundreister Architects, $250. Is that our architect?
That's
Did I
our
say it right?
architect for all the projects.
We've got a lot of projects going here at West Carroll right now. Jennifer and Stephen Sandrock for $25. Jen's one of our teachers here at the primary. Northern Illinois Diesel in Mount Carroll, $500. TBK Bank, $200. And State Bank of Pearl City, $100. So we love the support from our local businesses and from those not so local. We appreciate it. Get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. Mr. Stott, did you want to talk at all?
What would you like me to talk about?
I don't know. You have to come over and be on camera. I know that that's part of Ed Foundation. Mr. Howley applied for a grant so he could do some YouTube things and video things. So they've just gotten that started in the last month or so. I thought maybe he'd stay and talk about it a little bit. Maybe he's gonna make Addison do it. Anyway, you've been a board member for a couple of years. You're a former administrator from the Savannah schools. Heard lots of stories. You probably know about that gum jar. But we
Oh,
won't
he
say
does,
names.
yes.
Yeah, we won't say who did it, but I know who.
It wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me, that was before I got to the high school. Anyway, Lions has been working hard to try and do things for the community, so that's keeping us busy. Other than that, I understand there's gonna be a bikers coming through here at some point in time, and trying to prepare for that. And they're also gonna do a cleanup along the bike trail, which will be helpful for the community also.
Well, here I thought you were talking about our fourth grade bikers. You're talking about bikers coming through Savannah, like on the bike path.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm also gonna do a shout out for our fourth graders. We do our Honor Flight Bike-a-thon in a couple weeks here. And, as I was thinking, I think all but maybe one of our helpers today went to the zoo. Oh no, that freshman class, I'm sorry, I brought it up. That was COVID year. They didn't get to do any of that fun stuff at the end of the year. But most of them got to do the zoo trip and, the Wax Museum and all those things. So it's been an exciting time. Any last words?
Yeah, that's what you do with the fourth grade, the bikers, and what they do is really special on, and glad that you do that every year, because that's something that really means a lot.
Yep, we had our vets come in about a month ago and talk to our kids, and we were excited to sponsor the honor flight last fall from all the years of our kids biking. So that flight, we had raised about $58,000 last year. Our goal each year is $5,000. This year's goal for the Education Foundation is $25,000. We are now at $13,100 at 9 o'clock, so that's an hour in. I feel like we're well on our way to maybe beating last year's goal. Our goal every year is $25,000. I don't know if Dr. Dier mentioned how much last year's was. Last year we raised $33,000, so it was very exciting. Again, 815-273-9273 for all those listeners out there in WCCI land, 100.3 FM. Let's see, anybody want to talk to us when these girls over here do?
Yeah.
He's good at that.
Yeah, let's see. Well, ladies, I'm rolling right in here now. So I could mention that Drew McIntyre had joined us. She is a senior. So Drew, what is your plan for next year? The kids were just saying what they want to do when they grow up. What do you want to do when you grow up?
So next year I will be attending the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. I am hoping to become a medicinal chemist, or I would like to research and get
Wow, so you're going to go from a small school, Carroll, pretty small, to a big school in Champaign.
Yes, I'm very excited.
So you're kind of looking forward to it. Obviously, when you go to the University of Illinois, it's kind of a culture shock to some kids, but it sounds like you're ready to go.
Yes, I'm very ready to go. I'm very excited.
Do you know what your classes are? Do you get for the first year, or do you have to wait?
I go down in the middle of June, I will start my classes there, but because of West Carroll's College Now program through Carroll Community College, I will have most of my freshman and sophomore classes completed, so I won't have to be in those classes.
Ooh, 600 students. Let's talk about that College Now program. It's very popular with some of our students. Why don't you explain what the College Now program is?
So the College Now program is a program that we do at Carroll Community College where high school juniors and seniors can attend Highland to help get their associate science degree by the time they graduate high school.
Ah, so you probably met some people from other schools, students from other schools.
Yes, I've made lots of College Now friends and even friends who are in actual college program right now. It's a wonderful place to kind of learn what college is going to be more like. It was a big shock when I first went, but I feel more prepared to
Okay, one more question. Did you go to prom last weekend?
I did.
And who'd you go with?
I went with shout out.
Oh, okay. So how was prom?
Prom was.
Did you do the like overnight post prom and all that stuff?
I did. That was also very fun.
Oh, I was gonna say, I didn't turn it over, so. How's Frank doing?
Okay. Well, good luck at the University of Illinois. I was born in Champaign. I know you didn't know that. It's Carroll Clinic. It's called Carroll Clinic now. The huge hospital there, but at that time it was Mercy Hospital. I was born when my dad was a student there after he'd already been to the Korean War. Enough of my family story. Chris, here you go.
Okay, 815-273-9273, get those phones ringing, and we got Mrs. Reddy, our art teacher here, with a few students, and I think she's gonna talk about some awards that they won.
That's right, I'm so excited to be here this morning. We are here with a few students of mine who are all winners of the Woodlawn Art Academy Art Contest. Every year, the Woodlawn, it's located in Sterling. They put on a area-wide art contest, and there are, I believe, over 27 different schools that participate in this contest. And so last year, we did this, and we had seriously, over 110 entries, and we had 2 of them win. And we had our Peyton was here from last year, Peyton Martinez, and then she's going to talk a little bit about what happened to her as she won. And then this year, we had 3. So 18 kids actually get their artwork made into banners and hangs over the First Avenue Bridge for a year. And it's a great honor to win this award. And we're very proud of all our art students here at West Carroll. So, and Reagan Armstrong took first place this year in the elementary category. That's pretty awesome, really, a first place. She's in 4th grade. And then we have Emmett Isons here who had a great honorable mention. And his is also going to be made into a banner that's going to hang over the bridge between Rock Falls and Sterling. So I'm going to start off today by interviewing some of our students, and they can tell you about what they made. So Peyton, what did you make last year?
I made a monster.
From the book. What book was that from? Do you remember?
Wow.
Where the wild things are? Yeah? Yeah. So what did it look like?
Well, it had I was going through a tie-dye, but I used a bunch of bright colors on it, and
yeah, it was wearing, what did it wear? It had overalls on it, and big eyeballs, and big teeth.
it had yellow teeth, because I'm pretty sure it had yellow teeth. I put horns on it, and
I didn't
the
realize
horns
they
were some type of color.
Yeah.
And
jail and I shot it.
Yeah, that's right. And we also had Starlin. She also was the other winner from last year. And their stuff's hanging right now on the bridge. So if you drove up to Rock Falls, you can see our students' artwork hanging over the bridge. And so I'm going to interview Reagan now. Reagan is our first place winner this year. Reagan, tell us about what you made.
I made
what medium did you use to make your artwork this year?
I think so.
Wood pastels.
Yeah. So what color was your cake?
It had different colors like dark brown, light brown.
Contrast that with Dave.
It was very cute because it was drawn and it was a 3D looking cake. It didn't just look flat, it looked totally 3D and it was so cute too. So well done. I mean, that's impressive to have our first place winner here. And so Emma, come on over. Emma, tell us about what you made.
I made an African project from Sharpies, paint.
Yeah? Yeah, you made a very colorful African silhouette project, and I think that's what drew the viewers' eyes to it because it was super colorful. And Randy Miner, step on up. Tell us what you made for the Woodlawn Art Show. Yeah, and you had a poem with it too, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he made this birch tree forest, and they each, third graders wrote a haiku poem that went with their project. So it was kind of connecting literature and art all together.
Very nice.
So yes, and so the winners of the Woodlawn are done by popular vote, and we want to say thank you to all of you who voted by liking their items on the website. So thank you for going and doing that extra thing for us and these students. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Mrs. Reddy, and it was quite an honor for our art students. We have a couple of, you guys want to do their donations? Let's do Kenny's first. Okay. We've got a few walk-ins, and then we're going to hear from some second graders from Mrs. Yoakum. But we need those phones to be ringing, 815-273-9273. Addison tells me that 100 people, more than 100 people are watching the YouTube, but they're not calling in. So we need 100 calls, 815-273-9273. We got a longtime bus driver here, Kenny Lego. And Kenny, what can you tell us about today?
Well, I've got two checks here. One is from Ivy Monuments, and a current owner, Mike Worrell. He wanted to keep the tradition going, Ivy Monuments being the donator. And then I've also got a check from Diane, my wife, and myself. We've got two grandkids in the school system, Dominique, senior this year, and Carter's in 4th grade. So we thought it was important to, that we still do it.
We appreciate that. I'm glad that the new owner's keeping up the tradition. And do you think you'll ever retire?
I'll probably just be tired. I'd probably just be tired.
I'm pretty sure at last year's end of year breakfast, you have surpassed 50 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, and Dr. G here made sure that, we knew, everybody knew that.
Yeah, I think I heard that story, and I don't want to cry again, so we're not going to tell that story again. Thank you, Kenny, for your service to the district and for your donations, and we appreciate it.
And by the way, I enjoyed the wax museum last night. That was great.
We're going to hear from a few more of those in just a minute, so they can tell how much we raised for the Other Foundation. So glad you came. Thanks. All right, Mrs. Yoakum. Oh, wait, we've still got a few more. We've got the adults who got kids with checks. All right. You look familiar. What's your name? Brooke Yoakum. I think we had another Yoakum in here earlier. Would that be possible? Yep. Who might that have been? I think it was Dylan. So what do you got for us today? 3 checks. Tell us about them.
One's from Yoakum Construction.
And who's Yoakum Construction? Dad. Okay, all right, Dad. Let's hear what that's for. $500 from Yoakum's Construction. Thank you.
I got one from grandma. I have 2 from my grandma, actually.
Okay.
One's worth 200 and one's worth 100.
Okay, I feel like those grandparents are like hitting up every grandkid. That's nice.
good.
I'm pretty sure I saw them at the Wax Museum, and then I think they were going to a ball game, and I bet you guys keep your grandparents pretty busy. All right, anything else you want to say? Any shout outs to anybody? All right, thanks, Brooke. You can give those to over there. All right, girls, come on over, and then we're gonna hit up these second graders. All right, yeah. So what are your names? All right, can you tell us what your names are? Luke and Avery, said you have the same last name. Does that mean anything? Oh, brother and sister, okay. Well, come on over, step this way a little bit, okay. What are you doing in here? I'm gonna go to Avery first, because she's been waiting a long time. What do you got for us, Avery? A check from him. And what is your dad's business? Psych Electric, can you tell us how much that's for? $100 from Psych Electric, awesome, thank you very much, Psych Electric. There's not very many electricians out there anymore, are there? But your dad's busy all the time. I saw him kind of fly in and out of the wax museum last night too. All right, so this is what you got for us. Another psychoelectric kit? Wow. That's nice that every kid gets their own check. So, you want to tell us what your amount is? $100. Well,
Keep it
thank
even
you
that
guys. Are either one of you going to continue in the family business someday, maybe? Avery says her brother can handle that. Well, thank you very much. Good job. Thanks to Psych Electric. You can give your envelopes to Mr. Guinness over there. All right, I think I know you. What's your name? Annika what? You've got a few shout outs, and I know one that Mrs. Camper already did, but Grandma Lou better be listening, because here's another relative. I'm gonna shout out to Grandma Lou before you tell us what you got. Say hi, Grandma Lou. All right, what do you got for us today, Annika? A check from who? Grandma who? Grandma Rhonda, what do you call Grandpa? Oh, I thought she was gonna say Grandpa Goof. Yeah, Jeff and Rhonda, and Jeff and Rhonda Law, how much is your check for? See it on the end down there? $25, so let's challenge the other grandparents to send in a check. Do you wanna shout out to anybody that might be listening? No? You ready to go back to class? Or are you gonna have to do your book thing now? All right. Get in line there. All right, one last one before we go to second graders. 815-273-9273. We've got Trent Schonauer here, and I think we've got a couple of donations from somebody you related to.
I got a donation from my grandma, I think.
Oh. Did you bring it in?
No.
No.
Well, sorry.
I'm pretty sure your mom dropped off a couple donations. Do you know what her businesses are?
I know she does taxes.
Schonauer Accounting Service. Do you know how much she sent in?
$500.
$5,000.
At a zero.
At a zero. What other business is she involved in?
She's also involved in the railroad.
Yeah, do you know what the railroad's called?
Riverport Railroad.
Riverport Railroad, and they also gave how much?
$5,000.
$5,000. So they helped us well on our way to our goal. It's 9:15 in the morning, and we have $14,700 towards our goal so far. That is awesome. Thank you, Trent. Gosh, that Mr. Tipton got out here. Oh, there he is. Well, I'll let you stay over there. We're gonna let our second graders do their thing, and then we'll talk to you. But Fred brought in a donation for $250 to match Zach Vandendorn in memory of Frank and Mavis. His folks love both of them. Nice people. Frank was one of my favorite vets that used to come in and talk to our fourth graders. So Dr. G is here on the floor, ready to talk with some of these. But I'm gonna let Mrs. Yoakum introduce what they're doing. Call that phone number, 815-273-9273.
So I have my second graders here, and we're going to read to you from our Young Author books, and the Education Foundation gets the Young Author book supplies, the hardcover books and everything else for every single student at West Carroll Primary School. So they each get to write a book, illustrate a book, and then publish it into our cool hardcover books that we have. So each of my second graders are going to review a book from their ABC books, and they get to choose their topic. So I have ABCs of baseball, ABCs of book characters, ABCs of desserts. They get to choose whatever they want and write an ABC. So I'm going to ask my second graders to stand up, please. Sorry, Dr. G.
That's okay.
And I'm going to have you say your name and then read us your page, okay? What is your name? All right, AJ, what'd you write your ABC book about? All right, go ahead and read your page.
Alright, can I get an address?
West Carroll Education Annual RadioThon. How much would you like to pledge today?
Very nice, thanks. AJ knows a lot about baseball. You come this way a little bit.
Can I please
All right,
have
what's
your
your
first
name?
and last name?
Grayson, what did you write your book about? Grayson loves football. Can you read us your page?
Also, mine's called Brookfield and back there.
Very nice, thanks, bud. Russell Ritchie, can you come this way? All right, this is, I said his name. This is Russell Ritchie. What did you write your book about? Ocean animals, go ahead.
Are you going to be meal dropping off donation at school or mailing it in? And then are you doing a check? Can you make it out to the
Very cool. Hi, what's your name? What did you write your book about, Kaden?
And then are you dropping it off or are you you said the amount was $200? Can I please have your phone number? Absolutely. Thank you so much for calling today. You have a good day. Thank you for
Those
calling.
kids, they love that Minecraft. So we wrote a whole book about it. We had all of our young author books on display at our spring concert night, and some of them got taken home by mistake, so that's okay. But this little girl took hers home, but she's still gonna tell us what she wrote about. What's your name?
It's the best of
What did you write your book about? What's your favorite dessert? Oh, yeah, sounds delicious. All right, what's your name? What did you write your book about? I've never had a kid write about that before. You want to explain?
Thank you for calling West Carroll Education Annual RadioThon. What would you like to pledge today?
The name and book came from the
300? Okay, and can I
Very
please have your
cool. I
name?
learned a lot about gemstones after I read your book. What's your name?
Can you please
All
spell
right,
that
you
out?
can read your book about. Which is very cool. I had a bunch of kids, a couple kids write about book characters this year.
What's your
And
name?
I do it.
Mount Carroll.
Very cool. All right, Luke is another one who took his one on spring concert night, but that's okay. What did you write your book about?
217.
Okay, he's into soccer. And when you see his shirt, he has on a soccer shirt today. Who is your favorite soccer player?
And you said you were going to do one
You
more.
love Messi, don't you? Do you want to be a soccer player?
Can you do a check?
That'd be awesome.
Thank you for calling.
Okay.
Hey.
All right. What is your name? Russell, what did you write your book about? Go ahead.
That's fine. Tell the high level staff to donate. Please. Feel good.
Oh, no, man, that's a pretty popular book in second grade. All right, can you tell me your name?
All right. Thanks for donating, Dad. You too. I will. I believe so. Yes, I'll text you.
Oh my gosh, poor Edie. Come this way. Hi, sir. What's your name? What's your name? All right, we're doing your patient. Awesome. All right, Rosalie, you really love animals. What did you read about?
wolves.
Okay, go ahead and read your page about wolves.
Why is
Yellowstone National Park. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Hi, what's your name? What did you write your book about? Superheroes, and when you came to school here, you told me you want to be a superhero when you grow up. Right? Alright, go ahead and read your page.
We're using class.
That's pretty cool. Alright, Miss Elena forgot her book at home, but that's okay. So, what did you write your book about? You did the ABCs of food. What was your favorite page you wrote? Ooh, that was a good one. Thanks, Elena. Alright, come on.
Maybe it was actually. Hi, this is Katya Wilson. Thank you for calling the West Carroll Education Annual RadioThon. How much would you like to pledge today? $1. Can I have a name with that?
Very good. That's another Minecraft book for my class. Alright, what's your name? Casey, what are you going about? Let's go ahead.
Keep it up.
Alright, we have Annika back. Annie, what'd you write your book about? Annika, loves gymnastics. Actually, we're going to go to the same gymnastics place, right? All right, read this your page.
And you said $100? Are you going to mail it in or drop it off at school? Okay. And then are you doing your check? Alright, can you make it out to WCF?
No music part, not the character from Thank You. I love that you get this. Alright, what'd you write down? And what?
Jump every single time I jump.
Okay.
Is the turtles, do you think you guys listening to the video right now? All right. I also have Noah. Noah forgot his book, but that's okay. Noah, what was your book about? You wrote it about animals. What was the favorite one you did? All right. Thanks, Noah. All right. Thank you, second graders, for all of your ABC books, and thank you to the Education Foundation for buying all the supplies every year. Very cool keepsake that I think we have from our elementary years. I believe when we started this back, you had yours from all of your elementary years. I have them in my room. Yeah, that's fun. We've got a few more walk-ins. I see Eric Christensen here with River Cities, and I recognize him because I've known him for a lot of years, but also because he does a lot for the schools and communities. So, Eric, come on over, or AJ is back. AJ, do you know this guy? Oh, and is he gonna make you do all the talking this morning? What do you have for us today? Awesome, $1,500 from River City.
Wow.
I think we might have to up our goal. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much. I'll have you get your check from Mr. McGinnis over there, and thank you, Eric, for all you do for the communities, and we appreciate it.
Thank you to all of you, all the helpers here today, all the teachers. I just want to say, even if it's just $5, help these kids out. Just challenge everybody to just pitch in and help everyone out. So thank you.
Thank you, and call that number so these workers have something to do, 815-273-9273. There we go, let's see if we can get that second phone ringing. I thought this morning, these girls probably don't know how to work these kind of phones, it's not a cell phone, it's an actual old phone. We're gonna talk to Fred Timpton so he can get back to his day, he's probably got farm work to do or something.
Are you dropping off?
Alright, but you know what, I bet he's going out to that barnyard zoo when he's done here, see what those FFA kids are doing, but Fred stepped in with a donation and we'll let him chat for a minute.
Well, thanks, Chris. Hey, first of all, it's a great appreciation to the West Carroll Foundation for what they do to help our school. And second of all my farmer buddies, you cheapskates, get them phones ringing, all right? We need to have them go. On behalf of the school, we have been through a big transition. We're looking for some great things to come now that we got things smoothed out. A big hats off to Dr. G for helping us out. We're really looking forward for our new superintendent, Dr. Heidi Deininger, to come in and pick up and keep the ball rolling and get our test scores up and get everything going hard. Things are looking up for West Carroll School District, and we're hoping to keep them going. Thanks, Chris.
For sure, we're definitely on a positive path and want to keep that going, so get those numbers going, 815-273-9273 for all those listeners out there in WCC High Days Connecticut Country, 100.3. And we have Ms. Schmidt here with some fourth graders, and we'll let Dr. G talk to them for a second.
Just WCC.
Okay, are these the Wax Museum?
They are.
Okay, why don't, tell us a little bit about what the Wax Museum is, and then maybe I'll see who all these waxers are.
Okay, so this year we started in January. The kids picked out a person from history, somebody of significance, and we picked in January so they could start thinking about their costume. But with state testing, we weren't able to start really studying until about the end of March. So they fully researched the historical figure that they chose, and created a speech. And then last night, we put on our 16th Wax Museum where the kids did amazing. We raised $527.72. We're so proud of them. So we would just like to share some of our speeches with you guys that they've worked so hard on.
Yes, it was great. So introduce yourself first and then tell everyone who you were last night.
Yeah.
And you had a great outfit on, I remember that. Tell us a little bit about that. Your outfit that you had for Christopher Columbus. Yeah.
You had a big cape and a big hat on.
Yeah, I love the cape.
And cool leggings too.
Where'd you get all that stuff? You know, you can buy about anything from Amazon now, can't you? Yeah. Well, that was great, Christopher. Thanks a lot. Okay, who's next here? I'm gonna get down so I don't kill my back. Who's this? Oh, now some people may not know who that was, but you do. So who is that?
It's an all-time volleyball player.
Oh, with 3 kids. And doesn't she do beach volleyball?
Yes.
How old is she now?
Like 47.
Okay, well, great job. So you must like volleyball.
Yeah, I really do.
Are you gonna be a volleyball player in high school and maybe college?
Yeah,
Oh, that'll take a lot of work.
I know, but you never stop. You gotta keep pushing.
Wow, I'm ready for her to start motivating some of our teams. Never stop working, keep pushing. Wow, you could be a coach too. I love it. I love it. Okay, great job. Who's next? Who?
We were a duo.
Oh, yes, I remember.
My name is Alison Pat, and I was Michael Jackson, and he's in Jackson 5.
You guys were great. How did you get, first of all, how did you figure out how to organize that?
So basically, we went out in the hallway, and then we had our speeches done, and then we figured out that she would say it first and go through her younger life, and then her older life, she would like, and then she would like give a microphone to me, and I would say this.
Yeah, because it really, you almost have to really, it's almost like putting on a little play, wasn't it? Yeah, and you had music too, as I recall. Yeah. Yeah, excellent, excellent. Oh, photoshopped it. Oh, okay. Well, it was fun to see you two together, kind of doing a team wax. A team
That's
wax.
the first time that's been done.
The first time in 16 years, what do you think about that? You are, you're gonna go down in history. Yes, first in 16 years. What do you think about that? Very, very cool. Well, thank you to Michael and Michael. Thank you. Okay, we have Mr. Yoakum here wearing his number 23 Jordan. So, who were you last night?
I was wearing jerseys.
Yeah, you got Jordan jersey on right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did
Larry
you?
wore his What Would Larry Do shirt this week.
Yeah, how did you pick Larry?
I just like basketball
And where was Larry Bird from? Right, and what college did he play for? Okay, is that right? Or is it was it Indiana State?
He started in Indiana, and then he transferred. He didn't like Bobby Knight, and then he went to Indiana State.
There you go. Thanks to Brian Rouge, but you had it first. He started. So a little history here. Good thing we've got Brian here. He started in Indiana, didn't like Bobby Knight, and then went to Indiana State. I thought I remembered him playing in the Missouri Valley, but
Played in the title game in '79.
In Terre Haute, right? In Terre Haute. Okay, so you like basketball? Yeah. Okay. Well, you're the gal who was just here with volleyball. I like what she said. Got to push hard. Got to keep pushing. So listen to what your classmate had to say there. Okay. Good job, Miss Yoakum. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who do we have here?
My name is Allie Warren.
And who were you last night?
I was Jenny Finch.
Jenny Finch. Now that there will be also a person that some may not know who Jenny Finch was.
Jenny Finch was a really famous, is a famous softball player. She struck out like more than 1,000 batters.
So she's a pitcher.
Yeah, she's a really.
And does she play professionally?
Yeah, but she.
Yeah, retired. Okay. So I'm assuming you picked her mainly because you like softball.
Yes.
Okay. And are you going to play this summer softball?
Yeah, I always do.
Uh-huh. And when is the season already started?
Yeah, it has.
Okay. Well, good luck this summer, okay? Do you travel around other schools or do you stay here?
I go to like different towns.
Uh-huh. Well, have fun with that. Okay, thanks. Okay, who do we have here?
I'm Jensen Bean.
And who were you last night?
Charles Lindbergh.
Charles Lindbergh, a great American name and hero. So tell everyone just a little bit about Charles Lindbergh.
So he was born February 4th, 1902, and he was a very famous pilot. He had 11 children.
Wow, 11 children. And he was what, the first person to
Do a solo box that fly across the Atlantic Ocean.
Yes, and you know, I have seen that plane in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian Institute, the Museum of Air and Space in Washington, D.C. They have it hanging from the ceiling so you can actually see the Spirit of St. Louis. Didn't he have some a strange incident too? Somebody kidnapping one of his children?
Oh yes, Charles Lindbergh Jr. And they wanted a ransom, but later I'm pretty sure he found his son's dead body in the forest.
Yes, and it was, I think at that time, that was a huge nationwide story, you know, and very sad though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thanks Charles Lindbergh. And who do we have here? Shayna, who were you last night? Oh, okay, tell us a little bit about Sally.
She was a tennis player, and then she went from being a tennis player to being an astronaut. She was the first American female to go into space.
And you had an amazing outfit last night. How did you get that outfit?
The outfit I got from Amazon, but my mom, she got boots for me.
Okay, got that doggone Amazon. I tell you can get anything from Amazon, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you look just, I tell you, you look just like an astronaut last night.
Yeah, I mean, I picked her because I actually have an interest in like astronauts and stuff like that.
I think you've got a future in radio. What do you think? I mean, you speak right up and you've got a good story, so you might be taking Brian's spot here someday. We've got a future radio voice here.
Maybe.
Okay, thanks a lot. And who do we have here?
Lincoln Martin.
And who were you last night?
Lucille Ball.
Oh, how can I forget the red hair and the lipstick? The red lips. I was telling my wife, Gail, about your costume because we like Lucille Ball. And who was she for those who may not know?
She was an actress and she did a lot of dramas in school. She did a lot of drama classes and she became an actress and made a movie called I Love Lucy.
Yes, the show, when we were young, little, like when we were your age, we would watch the I Love Lucy show, and it's still on, I think, on reruns. Have you ever seen it? Yeah, I think it's on.
Yeah, it is.
On one of the stations. So she was funny, wasn't she? Have you ever seen that clip where they were in the candy, they were at the factory, and the candy belt was going, and
Faster and faster and
and it
faster.
kept going faster and faster, and they didn't know where they put the candy, and they were stuffing it all over the place.
I'll show them today.
Oh, okay, maybe you'll get a clip of that, it's pretty funny.
It is,
It's pretty
yeah.
funny. Okay, thanks, Lucille. Yep.
Okay, next up, we have Diego, and I'm so proud of Diego. He is Spanish speaking, but he worked so hard on his speech and was Charles Barkley. So I'm gonna have him actually say his speech from last night. So come on over here. Get nice and clear. You can do it. And you're still ready. What do you do today? Sports commentator. Good job. Excellent. And we got one fourth grader left that's going to tell us you were Neil Armstrong, right? Yes. Everybody knows Neil Armstrong, but tell us a few facts and where you learned it and what your name is.
My name is Neil Armstrong, and also.
Well, your real name.
Oh, my real name is Aaron Carter.
Okay. And what are some things you learned about Neil Armstrong?
He was the first man on the moon. I mean, to walk on the moon.
To walk on the moon.
Yeah.
Do you remember his quote? What did he say when he stepped out of the?
Oh, that's one thing for man, one journey for man.
Wow.
Great. And I like your costume too. It's pretty
Oh,
cool. He had a
yeah.
helmet that lit up. I was worried about him getting hot, but you did all right, huh?
Yeah.
Anybody that might be listening? Okay, get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. We want all those listeners on WCCI 100.3 to listen in and call. We've got our first graders here with Mrs. Hertz, and she does one of my favorite things. I think they're gonna do the Pledge of Allegiance, but once they get into spots here, we'll have Mrs. Hertz talk about that. Keep calling, let's get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. We've got a few walk-ins. Mrs. Johnston, do you want to take care of your walk-in while she gets hers all set up here? I've got Mrs. Johnston that teaches here, and she's going to do her walk-in. She had to walk really far from across the hall. So, what do you have for us today?
I have a check for myself and my husband Randy Johnston on behalf of Country Insurance.
Awesome, $100, thank you. We're gonna make that goal. I'm gonna give that back to you. You can give it to Ms. Wolf over there. Thank you. Thanks to Country Insurance with Randy Johnston and Charlotte. We appreciate that, and I'm gonna turn the mic over to Mrs. Hertz.
Good morning, West Carroll parents, families. I brought my first grade class with me today, obviously. We have worked really hard on reciting the pledge this year. Kindergarten, they work on it, and then you get to first grade, and it's amazing how well they can say it. With our social studies program, we've talked about lots of different things about being a good citizen, being patriotic, how to be a good community member, all of those things. So the kids know how important the pledge is and how it is to be respectful. So we're gonna put our hand on our heart.
And do you plan to drop it off at
And
school, or are you mailing it?
we're gonna say the Pledge of Allegiance together. Here we go, first grade.
You drop it
I
off.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pretty good. Woo! Yeah. It's always kind of gets you a little bit when you hear little kids recite the pledge, I think anyway.
Yes, yes.
I cry at the drop of a hat, so when you hear little kids do things like that.
If you wanna start with that side, they can say their name before they.
Yep, we're gonna do that.
Is
And
that
then I
in
have to
Spanish?
check for one of my more kids here.
Okay.
Okay, so you're gonna say your name. We practice say your first name and your last name.
And can I have your phone number?
My name is Sadie Hyder. My name is Michaela.
Say your
Thank you so much for calling. Have a good day. Bye. Yes, because you see that here right now? Oh, but it cannot be turned into anything like that. It doesn't look any better right now, but whatever. Surprised it was in Mount Carroll. I thought it was in Spanish. Show some text message, right?
Okay, and then, sorry, can't forget my slide holder here.
My name is Harrison.
Who is it? Harrison likes a good moment on the microphone and in video. He already asked what channel he can watch himself back on after he gets home today. So Kendra, if you're listening, Harrison wants to watch himself on YouTube after he gets home today. We also have a check from one of my little darlings here. Say your name again. Okay, and you brought a check for how much money? And she was super impressed with how much money, who sent that money today? Yes, so she was super impressed with how much money she got to bring to school today, so she was really proud of that.
Yeah.
So, thank you to the Walkers for sending in that.
Well, and Riley, I'm gonna call you back here for a minute, because usually there's somebody here at our RadioThon that helps us. Do you know who that is? Yeah, what's your papa's name? Yeah, Ken Loffer is our treasurer, and he's been on the West Carroll Education Foundation for a long time. I thought I saw you coming in earlier. Did you try to come in earlier to give us your check? And then went back to class? No. So she does a good job. Papa Ken, you wanna say anything? Casey's listening. Awesome. So you guys did a great job on the pledge, and make sure they don't get over there. Looks like we have another walk-in donation before we hit our second graders. Those girls, one of the girls is even leaving the phones because it's not ringing. 815-273-9273. Let's get that phone going. We've got a walk-in here. I think I recognize this guy as a parent of a former student. I don't want to say how old she is now. I'm sure you don't either. So, what's your name and what do you have for us?
Scott Russell, this is from me and my wife, Brenna and Skylar, that's 200.
Awesome, thank you. Brennan's got $100 each, so I'm gonna guess that Brenna might be here later doing some music things for us. So thank you. Much appreciated. We've got second graders coming in while they get set up with Miss Foltz. Again, we got $250 from the Zach Mandendorn family. Dennis and Siobhan Yoakum. I don't know how many checks we got from them, but this one says $200 checks, but I think we got 4 or 5. So Greg Stott, $300. Savannah Lions Club, $300. The Reed and Jenna Yoakum family, $350. Minor Agency, $200. Let's see what our total is. Dr. G is 9:40 in the morning. Kids, can you see that total? $17,000 already.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. That's right, we're gonna be able to, teachers better start getting their wish list ready. So we have Mrs. Foltz, Miss Foltz here. This is hard for me, Dr. G, she's a former student.
Yeah.
When the former students are now teachers.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have you turn, because we're also on YouTube. So we don't want our backs to the camera. So I'm gonna let Miss Foltz talk to you about what her second graders are doing and get those phones calling. Kathy is just sitting, waiting. 815-273-9273.
Alright, I have my second graders here and we are going to read from our young author books that we did over the last couple months. This has been an awesome program for me to be introduced to as a first year teacher. It's awesome watching the kids write about what they love and be just so excited about reading and writing. So I'm going to have them read one page from their ABC book. They're going to tell you their first and last names, what they wrote about, and then read one page. Good job, Ryan. Next we have Cody. He did his book on Alright, and Cody, say your last name. Good job, Cody. We love that fourth name. Next we have Nick Ross. He did his book on Pokemon. And what page are you gonna read? Good job, Nick. Next I have Felina Dion. She's going to read her book. What did you do your book on, Felina?
Dogs.
Dogs.
Yes, because dogs have dogs have people go to their house. Dogs bark when they
Good job, Felina. Next I have Miss Harper Duquette. She is going to read her book, and she did her book on
ABCs of dogs. D is for a dog is cute. A dog can be big or small. A dog can be any color. I have a dog that is a pug. His name is Otis. I used to have a dog named Chloe, but she passed away.
Good job, Miss Harper. Alright, next I have Miss Eliza Gerber. She is going to read from her book, and she did her book on Good job. Eliza loves deers. She always talks about deers. Alright, next I have Mr. Devin Edwards. What did you do your book on, Devin? Alright. Next I have Mr. Jackson Long. Jackson, what did you do your book on?
W is for Witherstorm. A Witherstorm will destroy anything in its path. They eat big blocks of the world. They grow when they eat.
Good job, Mr. Jackson. Next I have Olivia Lufkin. She did her book on
Animals. J is for Jaguar. Jaguars will eat almost anything. Jaguars have a vitamins. Jaguars can be friendly at all times.
Good job, Olivia. Olivia actually was my first one done with her young author. She was ready to go. She wanted to finish and get it done. So she did a great job. Alright, next I have Mr. Jude Olson. Jude, what did you do your book on?
I did my book on ABCs and X.
Alright, Jude. And which page are you going to read for us today?
X1 because it's what yellow jacket. Ray can be a number 4. Ray shows up to 1 mile. And Ray shows up.
Awesome, Mr. Jude. Alright, next I have Johnny Overcast. Johnny, what did you do your book on? Good job, Mr. Johnny. Young authors are awesome because I also learned things too. I did not know jellyfish were older than dinosaurs, but that was a nice fact that I learned this year. Alright, next I have Mr. Deegan Persons. Deegan, what did you do your book on?
ABCs of Sonic. P is for Percy. She is a bandicoot. She is brave as she is a mechanic.
Good job, Deegan. Next I have Yvonne Santana Rodriguez. He is going to read his book. What did you do your book about, Yvonne? Alright, go ahead and read us your page. Jellyfish hurt you in the game. Oh my God. Good job, Mr. Yvonne. Next, I have Valerie Staggs. She did her book on
ABC foods. They have sugar in them. They taste yummy. They can be many different
you talking about, Miss Tyler? Donuts. Alright, last I have Mr. Parker Madison. Parker, what did you do in your book time? About toys. He loves toys. And you are going to do your R page. What is R for, Parker? Race cars. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Foltz, and we look forward to more young author books from you next year. And you guys have a field trip coming up, is that also right?
Yes, we go on Monday to the National Mississippi River Museum in Dubuque. The kids are ecstatic. It's our first field trip of the year, so it's going to be a good one.
And you started to ride the riverboat if the weather cooperates?
We don't do that anymore because the weather was always weather permitting. But we get to go to the museum, do an I-40 IMAX movie, which is always fun, and then just explore the museum.
Well, I hope you have a good time. Miss Addison's putting out some YouTube spots for us to stand on. And those calls are not matching up with our YouTube views. YouTube's over 200. 815-273-9273. Come on, WCCI listeners, 100.3, call in. We have another board member here, Ms. McCormick, and she called in earlier, which was nice to get those phones ringing. And put her on her white tape there, and she brought her check in. So, what do you have to tell us today?
I just wanted to follow Mr. Scott and Mr. Tipton with, as a board member, also saying just how much we appreciate everything the Ed Foundation does. I have two grandgirls very involved with music and drama, and I'm getting some hands up here. And so I appreciate everything that the Ed Foundation does for them, of course. And then I also just want to give a shout out to the staff, because Mr. Tippin mentioned the positive things moving forward, which we absolutely are. I'm so proud of West Carroll. But I just want to honor the staff who really have guided some of those positive changes, led by
Dr. G.
Wow, thanks. And soon to be followed by Dr. Diander. We really feel good about that choice. So anyway, thanks to everyone and the generous donations, big and small. Did I hear we had 10,000 come in?
Yes.
I mean, wow.
And
So,
we're,
thank you.
let's see, well, we don't have a new total up there. We'll probably have one at 10 o'clock, but we're quickly climbing. Gosh, Dr. G, it's quiet in here for a second.
Right.
Get those phones ringing, 815-273-9273. I don't know if Izzy has somebody on or if she's just acting like it because she's waiting. You know, it's so hard for high school kids to wait patiently for things. They need those phones to ring. We've got a lot of helpers here, and I see a familiar pianist coming in that I think had a grandson bringing the donation earlier, so we might have to talk to her. But 815-273-9273. What do you think so far, Dr. G?
Well, I have a $200 check from Gail and me.
Wow.
Gail, my wife, and so I'll bring that one right over here to the cash keepers. And we're almost halfway there. It's almost 10 o'clock, and I'm guessing we're up around the $18,000 mark. If not, maybe a little bit over. We haven't updated for a few minutes yet, but it's been really, really good. I'm going to go talk to our phone people over here. I don't know if you can get them on the TV or not, but I'm going to grab this chair. And, oh, Katya's got someone on the phone. So Lizzie Carroll is here answering the phones. And tell us what grade you are in.
I'm a junior. All right. Can I get an address?
Did you go to the prom?
Yes, I did.
And how was the prom?
I thought it was very fun. I really enjoyed that it really brought people that usually wouldn't talk to each other. We all had a lot of fun together, and
you said $40?
I was just wishing that I never met him.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like your comment about, bringing people together
Alright, go
who
ahead.
usually, aren't together. What was the music? How do you guys like the music?
Well, for me, there was a lot of slow songs, so every time there was a slow song, I kind of just sat down. But I thought it was really nice, and I was really glad that they played more requested songs because usually you don't get a lot of those song requests played.
Now, were you part of the junior class?
I feel like memorization in a lot of ways has been phased out in contemporary education. So I wanted my 7 and 8-year-olds to kind of prove unto themselves that memorization in terms of learning can still be very effective.
Well, I know from firsthand knowledge that it's working because I have a nephew in your class, and when I give him a ride to or from school, he's quizzing me and I'm quizzing him, and we don't do them a lot in 4th grade like we used to, and once you get out of that habit, I had to think on a couple of them, so, do you want these kids to introduce themselves, or
Yeah,
they quizzing each other, or I'm gonna give you the mic and you?
Well, so I think especially with like the live feed, I just wanted to be able to prove that like I've got like this opaque kind of binder, and then the capitals here, but they're not listed. They'll be able to rattle them off repetitiously.
Alright, well, tell us your names. Gracie, and what's your name? Gracie and Brantley, alright, Mr. Stubbs.
I can take a break.
Alright.
I'll just keep holding the mic up to them. Alright, you guys ready? Maybe I'll get to the left. Okay, here we go.
I would have just.
Can you see the answers? Gracie. What's the capital of Alabama? What's the capital of Alaska? Arizona. Arkansas. California. Colorado. Connecticut. Delaware. Florida. Georgia. Hawaii. Idaho. Illinois.
Thank you so much for
Mayonnaise,
calling.
pizza, and salami.
Have a good
You know,
day.
every time somebody comes back to visit Savannah, do you know the first place they wanna eat? And the last place they wanna eat? And every night in between, sometimes I eat mayonnaise like a week straight. Any shout outs? How about you guys tell us your names?
My name is Brady.
Well, good job, guys, and Penelope already told us her names. Do you guys eat a lot of pizza and tacos? Which one's your favorite, the pizza or tacos? Tacos?
All of it.
Yep. Anything you wanna say, Manny?
Not really.
Make the kids do it?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you're a huge supporter of our athletics and our, all the programs. And we appreciate them a lot. I know you do a lot for the community and people recognize that and like to eat at your establishment. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can get that to the ladies right over there. Thank you. 815-273-9273.
District office? Or you
Looks like we got another walk-in donation here, high school student. What's your name? Cody Cottrell, what do you have for us today?
In the governor's office, the old system board chambers in the pieces